Welcome to the Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by X2 Comedy. If you're looking to get more out of your Shenandoah Valley experience, then this is the podcast for you. You'll meet interesting people, musicians, and comedians that perform here and find out more about what you can do and see. Whether you live here or plan to visit, listen to explore what makes our unique slice of heaven. Now here's your host, Don Davis Womack.
Hello, Lappers. Get ready to unravel the captivating tale behind Massanutten Resort's newest holiday spectacle open to the community, Light Up the Park. Picture this, a mesmerizing outdoor water park adorned with festive lights, a giant walk-through ornament stealing the spotlight, and a dancing tree serenading visitors with holiday tunes and more. Today, we will dive into the enchanting world of Massanutten Resort, a sprawling 6,000-acre haven nestled in the heart of the picturesque Shenandoah Valley, where the magic of the season comes alive with their newest winter activity. Known for its diverse offerings and exceptional amenities, Massanutten Resort stands tall as a premier all-season destination on the East Coast. Today, we have 3 special guests from the resort, each playing a key role in bringing magic to the holiday season. Joining us is Dana Staniunas, the visionary director of recreation, Kelly Long, the brilliant mind behind hospitality administration, and Jason Owney, a creative force from the marketing team. Welcome to the show, Dana, Kelly, and Jason. It's great to have you online today.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Thanks for having us, Dawn.
You bet. I'm excited too. I love Christmas and I love all things Christmas. And I am so excited to share this with the Lappers because this is 20 minutes from my house in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. Friends, I couldn't be more stoked about this whole thing. So let's talk about it. It is here, Light Up the Park. And as I understand it, this is just not some overnight success that just happened to plop down on your land yesterday. It has been in the making for 4 or 5 years as colleagues at Massanutten Resort have been talking about it and dreaming about it. Dana, I want to start by asking you, can you share more about the inspiration of what started this whole thing, Light Up the Park?
Yeah, sure. It started, as you said, 4 to 5 years ago. I'm sure many employees have talked about it, but a couple have specifically come to me. Sarah Elson and George Salcido, 2 longtime employees, had the vision of this great idea. We just couldn't find the exact location that we wanted to host it, looking around the resort and finding the infrastructure. And if you're ever at the water park having dinner at Splashes Bar and Grill and you're looking at the outdoor water park, you see a closed outdoor water park with lots of pipes and lots of cement and lots of walkways. That made sense all of a sudden. It just clicked. We have the infrastructure. We have support. We have places to put lights. And so that started the process of where we could get and how we got to opening day of Light Up the Park a couple of weeks ago.
That is truly incredible. So that idea, when it clicked, that was about a year ago. And then what prompted you to decide to finally go ahead? That was it. And then you said, I'm going to make it happen. And it's going to happen Christmas 2023.
I was walking from our market to a park, James E. Lambert Park, and they have this beautiful wood tree walkway. And you're looking around and I said, wow, this would be a great area. But you couldn't find a way. Once you got past that little area, it opens up to a wide open park. And all of a sudden, all the vision dropped off. And so that's when I came back and I walked into the office and got Sarah and George on the phone. And I said, I think I have an idea. And I mentioned outdoor water park. And they both said, yes, that's it. We got a group together about 2 years ago, did some walkthroughs and never got to pull that trigger. And then whittled down that group a little bit. And we were looking for a new resort vendor for the lights that we already had going on throughout the resort. Mm-hmm. So we said, let's reach out to them and a couple others. And bam, we have lights. And it's amazing.
Yes, it's truly incredible. And you were sharing with me, Dana, that prior to this interview, you were telling me that Kelly put a lot of work into this project, including naming it. Kelly, we have to ask you, how did you come up with this name?
Well, as I was thinking about how to kind of pitch the project and make everybody get excited, I always want to have some kind of name to put on a presentation. And I thought, what better to kind of sum up what we're trying to have our guests and our owners experience than light up the park. And I thought, well, if I start calling that, maybe it'll just stick. And it did.
It was received right away. There wasn't this, here's the 50 names and we're going to pick one. That was the name that stuck right from the beginning.
It was.
That's beautiful. What a team effort, all of you all putting this together for so many families to take advantage of.
Hey, laughers, Tisha here. You know what goes great with this podcast? Free Popsters gourmet popcorn. We're so excited to sponsor this podcast, highlighting some of the most wonderful people in the Shenandoah Valley. To show our love for you laughers, we're giving you 15% off today at prepopsters.com. That's PREPOPSTEROUS.com. Use promo code LAUGH15.
The selection process, you alluded to that a little bit, Dana, is checking with different vendors to figure out which one you would select. And you selected Mosca Design to bring the holiday magic to life. What was that process like? Why did you end up selecting them?
It was great to look at a lot of different vendors and see what kind of visions they had. But when we actually sat down and looked at the proposal and everything that the team at Mosca Design put together, and then walking through the park with them, their vision just really came alive. And looking at some of the different elements and the way they described them, I felt like a kid in a candy shop getting so excited about all of these lights and displays and interactive elements that it just seemed like the clear choice to me.
Wow. It sounds like this design company has doing this sort of thing elsewhere if it's that advanced. Would that be an accurate assumption?
They definitely have some partners in the hospitality industry and across Virginia, going down south, and I think do a phenomenal job and do things not just Christmas.
Oh, okay. So they do a wide variety of services when it comes to light. They're very creative people, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This whole Light Up the Park offers more than visual delights. Can you share with us, basically describe better said, what the activities and the experience is going to be like for guests, visitors, and community members when they walk through this new festive attraction?
100%. And what we like about Light Up the Park is it's not just inside the fence line of the outdoor park. We hit you right after you turn off Resort Drive and onto Adventure Drive with the trees lit on either side of the road, all the way to the parking lot. And getting out of the parking lot, you get the walk through the LED tunnel all the way to our admissions booth, redeem your tickets, and now you're inside Light Up the Park. But we hit you as soon as you got off the road with, bam, lights, let's go, let's have some fun, and get the kids getting excited, and parents just thinking about memories and getting their cameras out. And we have 17 plus attractions or displays out there, from just photo opportunities for selfies from a nice ice throne to orb field, giant light up different color balls that the kids can push the buttons on, from red to green to blue to white, and change the colors to let's go back to the greatest one of the greatest kids movies of my lifetime, Big, when they were on the piano going back and forth. We have some interactive disc on the floor that the kids can walk across that make piano noises, or they can get in tune with other people hitting them at different times to make some music. And then the showstopper that everyone gets is our dancing tree with 3 specific songs with animatronics set up to it to light up the tree in different styles throughout the whole song, which is definitely gets people's attractions, and they get to warm up a little bit while they're out there in the cold, because we do have hot cocoa, which seems to be a very big crowd favorite these days.
So you get to walk through it sipping hot cocoa. How long is the walk through? Is it
It all depends how much you want to make of it. You could walk through and put your head down and not think about taking any pictures and not think about making any memories or not talking to anyone and probably get through it in 5 minutes. But that doesn't seem like it'd be a fun time for you and the family. So
No.
take your time, take the photos. We have some, our guest service agents are out there to see when dad's taking the photo or mom's taking the photo and not everyone's in it. So they can jump in and say, oh, get in there. We got it. And so we're trying to create memories. We're trying to create people talking about it, talking about how they want to come back the next year already. And it could take anywhere from 45 minutes, half hour, 90 minutes. It all depends on how much time you want to spend here. How we have it sold is we have start times, and we're only selling so many admissions every start time because we're trying to control that flow. But it doesn't mean you have to get out before the next start time. You could spend 2 hours, 3 hours here if you want to. So it's all about what you want to do and how you want to make the best of your time with your family and friends.
I love it. And we need to talk about this dancing tree just a little bit more. Is it's all mechanical. There isn't a person in there dancing, and right? Or is
that would be pretty cool. As long as it wasn't me, because that'd be pretty bad dancing. But yes, it is all coordinated electronically. Okay. I'd tell you the 3 songs, but I probably only remember one. And one's Trans-Siberia Orchestra, and just listening to their beats and how they go about making music and how they time the lighting and the different displays that's going along this LED Christmas tree. It stops you. And I walked through with my family the other night, and we had to stop at the tree twice when that song came on because they weren't leaving. They were mesmerized by it.
That is great. Is it very tall, the tree? Is it, or like, is it, yeah, how big is it?
About 16 feet.
Whoa, it is. It is definitely a showstopper. 16 feet. That's incredible. Is it the tallest element in the park and light up the park? Would you say?
I would say it's pretty close. I mean, we have a couple other walkthrough elements that are pretty tall. And then we have another, not as big and not as grandiose as this dancing tree, but there is another LED tree that we have elevated probably 20 feet off the ground outside the water park offices on the second floor. That also stops people and gets their attention through the different designs and elements that's all put together with that tree as well.
That's really great. Are there any snacks with the hot cocoa, by the way? Or is it pretty much just the hot cocoa beverage?
They're working through some snacks, some peppermint bark. Who doesn't want some chocolate with some peppermint taste as you're walking through, and some candy apples and, nice. Some chips are available. So we do have some snacks, but the hot cocoa, that's going to probably be number one.
That would be my number one too. I'm going to make sure that I stop and get that. I imagine that's around the entrance before you start walking through the hot cocoa.
It's about halfway through. Getting the people into it, getting used to it. The kids are all excited when they first get here. So about halfway. It's about that halfway point where they get a little chill and they need a little warm up, and the parents might need something to keep them, to refocus them. Hey, let's get some hot chocolate and then we can keep on going, right? Instead of those kids head down running from display to display.
That was actually good planning there, Dana.
Sometimes it's good to be lucky. It's working out.
It is definitely working out. Jason, I want to get to you with Light Up the Park being open to guests at the resort and the community at large. What are you most excited about when it comes to this new festive attraction?
There's just limitless opportunities for marketing. We've got the photo ops that guests can have, but also just the amount of ability to just, we always look for like colorful marketing. We like to look for things that are going to really attract people to the resort. And that's just an element that everybody really ties lights with holiday. For me personally, I love lights quite a bit. I decorate my house with lights all over, and my wife kind of limits me to what I do. But I've always been that way since I was a kid. I mean, I remember getting in the family car and just driving around the neighborhoods and looking at the different lights, and we would all vote on our favorite. And this gives people the opportunity to just go to one designated place to create an awesome experience where you don't have to, waste gas. Gas isn't cheap, so it's a great place to go for people to just community and also guests at the resort to come together. So there's a lot of opportunities for us to be able to capitalize on that, but also to help people create these traditions that I treasure, and we want people to be able to do the same thing.
So I'm hearing if you had it your way, you would light up the house at home like Clark in Christmas Vacation.
There's definitely an element of where my wife limits my ability to go to Lowe's.
So how many lights do we have outside that we could get away with at your own place?
My own place? Well, I'm pretty much now allowed to exchange if a light strand goes out or something like that. She'll let me replace them, but she doesn't want me including more lights right now. So I'm trying to figure out throughout the year what else I can light up, on the deck or something like that will kind of still contribute to the Christmas holiday season, but do it year round.
Oh, I love it. I'm a big holiday light person, a big Christmas season person too. And I could tell that really lights you up, Jason. I can appreciate that. You have a soul sister over here when it comes to that. So,
and my daughter, she doesn't even like the lights at the house. She likes they're all like white lights, and she likes the colorful ones. And so I think she would definitely go for, experience like this over even, being at the house, just because, everybody wants to go for the color.
Yeah, the color is really beautiful. It makes it a whole lot more fun. And marketing this event has had to been a ton of fun. How fun has it been to package this? And what do you have to go through to convey the message of what people are going to get coming to this attraction? What goes on to this? Months of preparation, or what does this look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of preparation, and honestly, it goes with the operations team too. It's a team effort to where they have the vision and they have the ideas, and they kind of tell us what they're looking for. So we go back and forth and collaborate a lot. So there's a lot of collaboration that's involved, but also we look for every element that we possibly can put a great event like this out so that people can see it. So we have it on our website. We have a little call out on the front page that we put information on. That's kind of like our big featured events that are currently going on, or promotional type things. And then we also have, obviously our social is a big resource that we utilize, and that's where people can kind of get all the latest updates and new information. So that people can kind of stay on top of what's going on, so they don't have to always log into the website. They can just kind of follow us on social, and that we do that with everything. And we've had a lot of fun. The marketing team got to create a new logo for it, which was a lot of fun for the marketing team. And then we also were able to really kind of try to be creative with coming up with pictures that we didn't quite have yet, because this is a new thing.
Oh, yeah.
To promote it, and we were trying to come up with ideas. So as soon as the first big feature came up, our team was right out there to get video and pictures to try to captivate just a snapshot of what the experience will be.
I didn't even think of that. That is a challenge you had to overcome this year with it being a debut. It's like, what are they going to see and do?
It's getting out of our heads and on, somewhere else that people can envision it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job at taking some stock photos and getting the initial message out. But Mosca Design was on property the Monday after Labor Day, wrapping trees and putting up displays. So as Jason said, as soon as they had that first big one out, they were over here taking pictures, because we wanted to remove the stock photos as quickly as possible and show people what they actually were going to be able to see and be part of when they come visit.
Yeah.
That is so interesting to me. So what was that first big piece that went up that you were able to take pictures of?
You go ahead. You might have taken the picture.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the technical name, so you're going to have to help me with that one. It's the big snowflake. Is that
the snowflake tunnel? Right at the entry.
Tunnel, yeah. Pretty amazing. Very spectacular. Definitely the dancing tree is going to be definitely the showstopper, but that's definitely going to be a great photo op piece as well. I can see a lot of families and couples taking pictures in front of that.
Oh, that is, yeah, I was going to ask that question too. How long did this take? And you mentioned they came in Moscow Design. What was it? The Friday after Labor Day? Did you say?
Monday after Labor Day. They were on property, and you know what? They were working 2 or 3 days a week, and they were not just working here at the water park. They were working out throughout the whole resort, and they have other properties up and down, as Kelly alluded to, Virginia to North Carolina, and probably other places if you head west. So they had to spread their time and make sure that they were hitting deadlines for everybody. So, from that Monday after Labor Day to, I want to say, November 16th, and our first opening day was the 18th. They were here. They'll be coming back next week and just checking in to see how everything's going, to see if we need anything and make any adjustments. So that's the good part of partnering with them, is they're a family business. And we always talk about Massanutten being a family business. So it worked out really well, and we're not afraid to call each other, email each other, text each other to make sure that everything is set up the way it's supposed to go. And I think when they visit next week, they'll have Kelly's bow for the wreath that will have the logo for Light Up the Park. She asked for that one. That one's a little bit slow coming, but it is coming. And it's a great photo op. Not only do we want people to know that they're having a good time here, we want them, when they go home and their friends are over and they see all the pictures of the family having a good time, where were they at? We can put lights anywhere, but if you can throw in something on a bow, like a little name tag that says Light Up the Park, Massanutten Resort, now people are talking, wow, we have to go there, or why don't we all go there next year? And now you're creating community memories as well, which is what we're after.
I love that so much. Now I need to know more about this bow, Kelly. Where is this? How big is this bow? Where is this bow going?
It is a giant wreath. That, you and your families can stick your heads in the wreath. So, 6-8 foot wreath. So you can imagine what the bow is going to look like, and a giant gift tag with our logo. So every time I walk through, I'm like, where's my tag? Where's my tag?
And where is this going to be placed along the Light Up the Park route? However,
probably about 3/4 of the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. As you get close to that dancing tree.
Okay.
It's around that area.
All right. And this is coming next week.
Yeah, the bow and the wreath's already out there. We're just waiting for the name tag. We have the photo op. We just want that tag to be on it.
I love it. Now, we are recording this before it's actually going to be released. So when, laughers, as you are listening to this episode, that means it's up. And
yes.
You must go see it, is what I'm saying to you. Absolutely. This interactive light show includes more than 200,000 lights. There's a lot of lights, in my opinion. What are each of your personal favorites in this new winter activity at Massanutten Resort? Kelly, you go first. This is part of your big idea. So let's break it down.
So the easy answer would probably be the dancing tree, but I'm going to go back to my original thing that when we looked at the proposals, I was like, Dana, they have a waddle of penguins. I want this waddle of penguins. And it's these LED penguins that overlook our wave pool, that color change. And there's just something about it that's very fun to me. So I love the waddle of penguins.
Yeah, if you catch that glimpse of the penguins at the right angle, they're all reflective in the water that we have to keep in the wave pool. So you get a little double image. So it's a cool one. It really is. Understated, but very cool.
I like it. What about you, Dana? What's your favorite?
I like the LED tree. And if you saw, I just turned my head because it's literally right outside the door of my office on this big deck. And if I'm working at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, that tree's just going wild out there. So one, I probably shouldn't be working that way late because I'm pretty distracted. Two of the people probably know that I'm probably not working that late that are on this phone call. But it is pretty cool to see that it's right outside our office. It has so many different designs. And it is one of the I'd say the first quarter of the walk through the experience that you're hit, bam. You see it when you walk in, but as you get closer, it just gets it's pretty large and pretty cool.
I love it. And what about you, Jason? What's your personal favorite?
Well, I actually like the fact that Dana mentioned it, but like the fact that we have water like still outside, it's not frozen because they're heating it slightly. So it just gives that extra effect that other, light shows can't give you. So not only the elements that we have in the light shows, but the fact that it's at a water park, we have water out there. And we normally wouldn't have, if we didn't have the light show out there, they would have drained everything. I just think that's a great effect. But I think my favorite feature is that snowflake. It was the first one we really got a good photo op with and we used for marketing. And it was just kind of that staple to me of what we were marketing for. All of our marketing team really enjoyed taking pictures with it. And it just really creates, and I go back to the white lights. I like the classic white lights. So, and it's all pretty much white. So, I definitely like that.
That's really great. I think this community is going to love it. And you already have community that has come out. And how have they responded to this holiday extravaganza so far?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, opening night just, it reminded me of opening night of the water park. I've been here that long. And the opening day of the water park, just watching the kids run up to the glass wall of that indoor water park and their faces, that's what this reminds me of. As soon as they walk in to get through that snowflake tunnel, their faces are just wide open and they're ready to run. And so I don't know, I might recommend some leashes or some harnesses on some kids because they get going. And I don't know if you have 3 kids and 2 parents, you're playing zone defense is what I was told. So one's getting loose and getting out there. But it's just the reactions of the kids' faces and how the parents are enjoying the time with them has been one of the greatest things that I've gotten out of it so far.
Maybe I should have put a disclaimer on that, Dana, that although there's water out there, you can't go swimming, right?
Yes, 100%. We have that's all blocked off. It's not swimmable. And I bet you the first one that goes in it will realize real quick that they shouldn't have done it because it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
I like that you put that disclaimer out there, Jason. Safety first, everybody.
Safety first, fun next. We're the fun ones.
That's right.
Yes.
Right. This is a fun, beloved tradition that families can make. How do you see that happening in the future? Any of you want to speak?
Yeah, the beauty of it is we have a lot of land outside and we have room to expand and we have room to change out displays from year to year or add displays or add 2 displays. There's a lot of infrastructure that is still unused that we're able to tap to keep it growing over the years and really make it something that people will expect to do when they come to the area or expect to do when their family comes in towns for the holidays. Or, they haven't been once in a couple of years. They're going to come back and they're going to be totally wowed that, they really are keeping up with it and doing something special here. And so we have the infrastructure and the land to do it here at the water park. And we also have other ideas that we've toyed around with. Maybe Santa will visit us one weekend or another. Maybe not this year or years coming up. Maybe we'll invite some churches and some choirs over to do some singing while it's going on.
That'd
and
be
really
cool.
just try to get everyone involved in it because it's just not for Massanutten guests. It really is for the community.
Yeah, I really like that. What are some next year goals about what you want to add?
I think the choirs is something that we've talked about internally for a little bit and having some entertainment going on out there. We talked about how long is the experience. And I think the more that we're able to include and schedule throughout the night, the more people will spend an hour to an hour and a half here and really enjoy it and have some memories to talk about for years.
Yes. Do you have guests that had no idea that this is here? They were like, whoa, I didn't know this was here. And check in and go, wait a minute, what is happening? Have you had that happen yet? Or does everybody know when they register? And
I will say our first guests that came through were an older couple and they arrived maybe 5 minutes before we opened. And I talked to them as they were leaving and they shared with me how wonderful it was. They all kinds of great compliments. And then I said, well, I thank you. You're talking to the right person. I'm the director of recreation. So I want to hear the good and the bad. And they're like, we don't have anything bad to say about it. And then he goes, hold on. We didn't know about it. We found out while we were checking in, and we can't wait to get back. We have more family coming down over the next couple of weeks and to share the information and make sure that they get over here. They said it was an absolute great experience. They were glad that they didn't know about it, but when they did learn about it, damn, we were here having a good time. And they were the first 2 people through the admissions gate.
Ah, that's fantastic. I love stories like that. Speaking of stories, can each of you share a heartwarming and memorable moment from a guest experience at Light Up the Park? You got the party started, Dana, there. So how about you, Kelly or Jason? Can you share a couple of memorable moments?
Being there on opening evening, it was, for me, just watching people walk through and seeing families experience Light Up the Park together, and, the joy on kids' faces as they were looking at lights, at displays, at running around. For me, that was, made it all come together.
I love it. How about you, Jason?
So I personally, I don't have any guest experiences, but I will say with the pictures and the video that I've seen my team, the marketing team, come up with, they've been really just really ecstatic about the whole project, about the new attraction at the resort, and I think that they have kind of gathered some awesome memories themselves, and it just gives you a lens into what our guests in the community will be able to experience, and then be able to have those traditions that we'd like to establish for them to be able to come to the park every year. And as Dana mentioned, seeing what those staples are that they want to get their picture in front of, or have that experience with their family and friends every time they come, or the new things that we have coming along. So I think there's a lot of a great opportunity for people to just have that time where they don't have to worry about the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, but they can just relax, enjoy it, spend the time just having some laughs, and just smiling and enjoying the time that they have with each other.
Yeah, I'm all about those laughs.
Perfect.
That's the best medicine in the world. I love it. Well, Dana, can you tell us then how to get tickets and the prices? Hours are open. Tell us what we need to know so we can all get over there and experience Light Up the Park.
Sure can. The best place to find all the information is massresort.com/light up the park. And that will give you our pricing and our schedule. We here at Massanutten Water Park, we don't do things the same way Monday through Sunday. We like to change our hours and we like to change our pricing. And that holds true for Light Up the Park. So, in early December, we're going to be opened up Friday through Monday from 5 to 9. And then as we get into, I believe it's December 16th through the 31st or the 1st, we're open 5 to 10. In that time frame, we're closed one day. The 24th, and that's the only day. Okay. And then we have the first 2 weekends in January. We're going to extend it to. We realize that the holidays are over, but people are still out. It's still winter, and their lights. People are still enjoying them, so we're going to keep that all going. And our price point varies a little bit during those times as well. You can get down here anywhere from $11 if you're going to purchase in advance, and during the holiday week, it's going to be as low as $13 if you're purchasing it in advance. Adults, $20 in advance. We encourage everyone to purchase online ahead of time because we do anticipate selling out. We could do what we do in the summer and sell 2,000 admissions, and that's over a course of 7.5 hours, and people are having fun in the water park, indoor and out. But we're not going to do that. We really want people to experience it, have fun, and make memories. And so we're limiting the amount of tickets that we sell for each start time. So purchase in advance, plan in advance, make sure you bring your holiday attitude with you, your camera with you, and let's have fun together.
I love it. And I think I noted or saw that you sell them every 30 minutes. Is that right? But then, like you were mentioning earlier in the interview, you can stay as long as you like. once you enter.
Correct. And that will all be prompted to you when you get online to purchase the tickets. It will ask you if you want to show up at 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8 o'clock. But it is every 30 minutes. And if one of those sessions are already sold out, it just won't populate. So you won't be able to purchase that session. That allows us to get you into the park in a timely manner. And then once you're inside, you can just leisurely walk through and have fun with family and friends.
Yes. And Laughers, I believe that website is massresort.com/light up the park, all one word, where they can buy the tickets. Yes?
Absolutely.
Confirmed.
That's right.
Confirmed, Laughers. You heard it right here on the Virginia's for Laughers podcast. Don't forget it. And as that's right. And as we wrap up here, how best can the Laughers stay updated with Light Up the Park and Massanutten Resort on social media or otherwise? Jason, I believe that's you. You're up.
That's right. You said it. Just social media. I mean, we really try to keep it simple. We do post on our website. So we're pretty quick with our, if there's new developments, we'll definitely keep that on our website, on the specific website that we just mentioned, but also at the front homepage, we try to put new developments there with the call outs, and mainly social. We'll talk about future things. We'll talk about things that are currently happening. And we also like to recap too. So definitely check that out. We also like to try to get a lot of video footage. So a lot more exciting things will be coming when it comes to the material that we're going to be putting out.
Oh, I can't wait to see those. It's going to be super fun. Thank you so much, Dana, Kelly, and Jason. This has been super festive fun talking about all things Light Up the Park. Thank you all for each of your parts in bringing this holiday magic to life. What a delightful addition to the Shenandoah Valley. So thanks again for coming on the show to tell us all about it. I appreciate each and every one of you very much. I heart you.
Hey, Dawn, thanks for inviting us.
It's been a pleasure.
Love the opportunity to share Light Up the Park with everybody.
Yes, and I'm glad you did. So, Laughers, to experience the magic of the holiday season at Light Up the Park, do buy your tickets in advance at massresort.com/light up the park and plan your visit today. Also, don't forget that discount on Pre-Popsterous using promo code LAUGH15 at prepopsterous.com. That way, you can munch on it on next week's episode and or purchase it as another gift this holiday season. Thanks for tuning in, Laughers. Out of all the podcasts out there, you picked us, and we think that's pretty darn special, just like you. Until next time, keep smiling. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by X2 Comedy. We'll be dropping a new podcast every Wednesday, so check back for another uplifting episode. Come to an X2 Comedy show or let us bring one to you. To find out more, head to x2comedy.com. Be sure to share this podcast with a friend, and until next time, cheers.